For those of you who have lots of time to kill, considering riding one of these old-fashioned steam trains. There is a service every 2 hours on select days. It's also including a Go Explore card. But once again, I'm on a rush to find my rich wife. Just joking. Alright, I have to rush onto the bus. So next stop, we are heading off to Port Erin. I heard it's really nice. It has beaches. That's not our stop. So it's going to be around 15 minutes from Castletown. With that being said, enjoy the ride. The Port Erin means Irish port or possibly Iron's Port or Lower's Port, a seaside village in southwest of the island with a population of 4,000. The town is famed for its breathtaking views, including the spectacular sunset over Port Erin Bay. The village previously served as a shelter for the fishermen. Its bay provides an easy landing place and fresh water for the crew, as well as a resort town after the steam train came to Port Erin in 1874 and provided a link through Port Mary and Castletown to Douglas. The promenade primarily consists of mini Victorian hotels. However, during the World War II, these hotels and other guest houses formed the core of the internment camp for the alien enemies. After the war, the building was reverted to holiday accommodations. Let's start my adventure here literally right at the end of the line on the platform of the most southerly stop on the Isle of Man Steam Railway and beside the Port Erin Railway Station. The Isle of Man Railway Museum is a small museum showcasing and charts the history of the steam-powered railway from its inception in 1873 to the present day, including now defunct line which used to serve Peel, Ramsey, and Foxdale. First opened in 1975 and now open daily throughout the summer month. It has an extensive collection of locomotives like loyal trains, rolling stocks, memorabilia, old posters, and interpretive displays mounted on the wall of the waiting room and the booking office. As well, the island's only railway simulator where you can get a first-hand experience on driving a diesel train. To hop onto an actual train that was used in the past, and I think I might change careers actually. It looks interesting. The main exhibition hall is housing a converted bus garage that was once belonged to Isle of Man Road Services, itself a division of the old railway company which was nationalized in 1976. Exhibit in the museum include 2 engines and 2 coaches as well as other equipment from the railway. However, the real treasures are the royal carriages which carried the Queen and the Queen's mother in 1963 and Queen Elizabeth II in 1972. A changing career is a big decision, and you definitely need a good place to think, really thinking it over. The good news is there's a perfect place that's just a stone throw away. There's Port Erin Beach. It's very scenic. This is the best beach on the island and all-time favorite for the families, as it has many facilities, including a boardwalk for burning calories, I mean jogging, 2 swim rafts, ice cream, cafe, and something we cannot live without, of course, the clean toilets. The beach sits inside a sheltered bay bordered by tall cliffs Alberta Head to the north. The west-facing beach has a stunning sunset and view to the Irish coast and the Mount Alborn in the distance. If you love water sport, there's many local businesses offer rentals for kayak, paddleboard, as well as licensed course in sailing and powerboat. If that is too extreme for you, not a problem. There's a small pier by the Raglan Pier and the lifeboat station, as well the rocks at the southern end of the bay where you can catch fish fresh. Oh yeah, The island is surrounded by sea. There is no way you won't be able to walk away without some fresh catches or screw up the seafood. Some of the tasty fish species you expect to catch include padlock, weasel, gray method, mergull, and pace. Now, here is a little advice. The best fishing time tend to be on the incoming tides 3 hours before the high water and a couple hours after. But beware of the state of the tide and keep your eye on the rising water to avoid being cut off from the shore. It's getting late and I'm not leaving this island without experiencing its iconic steam trains. So let's head back to Port Erin railway station and not taking the risk of missing the last scheduled train of the day. First opened in the August of 1874, it is the second established in the western terminus of the Isle of Man Railway and the sole remaining outer terminus of the railway. Until the beginning of the 20th century, the station facilities were very limited, all to the west of the pedestrian level crossing. However, Port Erin developed rapidly, overwhelming the original facilities, which were systematically replaced from 1902 to 1905, with further extension in 1912 and 1914. Finally, I'm ready to depart Port Erin and I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, which is by train. What's so interesting about the train they have here in the Isle of Man is the fact that it's steam train, old-fashioned way. I believe it's the oldest continuing running steam train in the world. So I'm looking forward to experience it. With that being said, I think my boarding time is coming soon and see you on board. I think I have a feeling I might get a private room here. I don't know. I didn't ask for an upgrade, but I think I'm just a good looking guy. Getting it all the way. I actually screwed up on the timetable and realized the next train is actually departing in half an hour. So I can either spit some game to find a rich Max wife or just chill out. Given I don't belong in the highly thought after the crazy rich Asian category, at least not yet, I'll pick the second option, but I'll be chilling a classy old-fashioned style. Now it's really interesting, even the train station waiting area is old-fashioned and it's almost like we're going back in time. We still have another 15 minutes or so and I think that's why I'm going to hang out and just relax. Looks like the cabin's empty. I think I just got an upgrade to a private suite. How romantic. Anyways, join me on board, shall we? Oh, yeah, we need to close that. Established in 1870, the Isle of Man Railway operated a 3-feet narrow gauge steam-operated train. The first 74 kilometers line connecting Douglas to Peel opened on 1st of July 1873. The following year, the second 25 kilometers line opened connecting Douglas with Castletown and Port Erin, and also this is the last remaining line operating. The railway initially considered building its southern route only as far as the Castletown, but due to the increase in tourism in Port Erin and the nearby Port St. Mary, the line was extended all the way from Douglas to Port Erin. Through the years, the company had exchanged ownership and undergo mergers numerous times. Despite the multiple cost-cutting measures, the company experienced financial difficulties throughout most of its history, especially after the loss of the mineral traffic from Foxdale, and consistently faced tough competition for its Douglas to Ramsey route. By 1975, the train only operated between Port Erin and Castletown, and Port Erin and Ballastella in 1976. The company was finally nationalized by the government of Isle of Man in 1978. All All but one of the railway's distinctive locomotives were built by Briar, Peacock and Company of Manchester between 1873 and 1926, with 16 steam locomotives in total. About 30 carriages remain on the railway, of which 18 are in service, 2 are in IOM Railway Museum, and rest in storage. Today, there are 2 basic timetables, the traditional full weight per day for the bulk of the season, with 6 train service in the peak seasons. In addition, the evening trains operated on Thursdays in July and August. In 2015, new tourist-oriented dining train often operated out of season, commonly traveling only as far as Santon, Barastra, or Castletown before returning to Douglas. The journey from Port Erin to Douglas by train takes about an hour. If that's too long for you, the bus is a little faster. With that being said, I have returned to Douglas and arrived at the town's railway station just before the sunset. I took my time to walk home along the Calm Promenade, but since arriving on the island, I cannot help but notice a small rock with a tower in the horizon. Sadly, it's pretty inaccessible even for great swimmers like myself. Oh yeah, I'm gonna brag that I was once a varsity rower while in university. At certain times of the year during the low tides, you are able to reach the tower on foot. However, please be aware this is very dangerous and not advised. But luckily, I got a very cool toy. So let's get high. Despite its appearance, this tower has no military or defensive function. The St. Mary's Isles, or the Tower Refuge, is actually a humanitarian shelter for the crew of many vessels which have wrecked on the reef. The treacherous reef which was the tower built on was a notorious hazard to shipping. It was previously often responsible for damages and sinking of ships, the most famous being the steamer RHS St. George, when it was foundered on the rock in the early hours of November 20th, 1830. The tower was constructed through the endeavor of Sir William Henry, who had been instrumental in civil rescue of sailors stranded on the rock. The first stone was laid in 1832 and the first flag was flown on the tower the following year in 1833. The structure is castellated in the style of 13th century, having a hanging proppet and corbels similar to those at Peel Castle and Castle Ruston. The tower provides both a visible warning for the incoming ship and a refuge for those in distress.